So why did I decide to donate my left kidney to a stranger? Last year, I turned 60. And on the eve of my 60th birthday, I made a reflection video. And I looked at my life and I looked at how my first 3 decades had been and how grateful I felt then. And I said, as I stepped into my 60s, that if I were lucky enough to get another 3 decades, that I wanted a big part of my life to be about giving. In October of 2025, I read in the newspaper an article about a woman in her 50s who had gone through some really traumatic healthcare situations. Her kidneys had failed in 2018. By 2020, she was in dialysis and she was looking for a miracle. And her doctor came also into the article and said, her miracle is out there, we just need to find it. And I felt called. And my husband was right there with me and I said, I think I could do this and I think I would want to do this. I think I'm gonna call this number. And he said, go ahead. He said, you're lucky you can do that. That is absolutely the right way to look at it. I'm lucky that I'm healthy enough to be able to donate part of me that I will be able to live without to help somebody to have a real life and a quality of life. I've had so many miracles in my life, and I think you have to reflect. You've got to reflect on your story. You've had everyday miracles. And when you look at everything that's been given to you in a sense of deep gratitude, the desire for good just bubbles out of that. The desire to give to someone. I met my recipient for the first time, which was very, very emotional. That meeting with the various players with regard to the surgery was very realistic and made me realize just exactly how invasive the procedure is and what the recovery will look like. Getting to meet Christine, my recipient, made all of that worthwhile. Christine had such high antibodies from various other health conditions and having her babies that even though I was her blood type, she would not have been able to accept a kidney from anyone unless her medical providers were able to deal with her very high level of antibodies. As it turns out, there is a miracle drug. There is a magic wand for just this situation in kidney transplants. That drug is available in Europe. The hospital dealing with Christine and I had to get that drug passed by the FDA on compassionate grounds for Christine's use only. And then very dramatically, it had to be released, just one dose from Sweden, taken to the US, get through customs, because that's really difficult when it's a non-FDA approved drug. So really, we were all on tenterhooks as to whether that approval would come and when it would come. And that came just a couple of weeks ago, which is exactly what set into pace at the end, this very accelerated, okay, Eileen, you're approved. Christine, your drug is here. Let's go.
It's 5 a.m. the morning of the surgery, and I'm at peace. Not quite sure how today is going to go. Don't know if Christine's medicine's going to work. Therefore, don't know what time the surgery is, or even if the surgery will happen at all. But I'm completely at peace, and this matter is in God's hands.
We got the message at 12 o'clock that the miracle drug had worked. And then, if that's not drama enough, there's a narrow window of time that this drug's effect will work for. So we had to go straight to surgery. But it was the uncertainty that added to the utter intensity of the experience when we realized that it was going to happen, and it was going to happen immediately. But surgery happened. Everything went according to plan. Took about 3 hours. And then I woke up in the recovery room. I think if you ask me what the true cost of this procedure was the gift to Christine. It was the pain of 7 days, because that was the only thing that I think now was really hard. And was that worth it? Absolutely. I went back for my 2-week check-in, and of course, donating a kidney from a healthy body is very, very different to receiving a kidney into a less healthy body because of kidney disease. So my recipient, while I was in the hospital 2 days, was in the hospital 2 weeks, but got released on the day that I went in to get my 2-week checkup with a healthy, functioning kidney. In my response, when people would ask me why I was doing this, I would tell them that in addition to wanting to give back, there was a point at which I too felt, yes, this is a good thing, and I could take some of the kind things that people will say unto me, but mostly I felt unworthy of the pure love that was washed upon me. It was very, very strange, and I'm still processing it. And it's good that I'm talking about it and good that I'm writing about it, because it is helping me process it. It's you have to be able to take an interruption in your life. I mean, you have to be able, and I was so lucky that I could take 4 weeks, that I could keep my business running. I was so lucky. You have to really need strong support. I have my sons, I have my best friends, I have my siblings. So you need tremendous support in your life to be able to do this. Of course, you need to be healthy, but even just 4 weeks out of it, I would say that it's 100% worthwhile. So anyone who asks me about it, I would say I would be very, very honest about the resources that you need to be able to step into an experience like this. But that if you can afford the time, and if you have the support in your life, that it's probably one of the best things I ever did. If it was for no other reason that one donates one's kidney, the pure love and support, as well as all the gifts, all the flowers, all the cards, all the prayers, all the mass cards, would have been worth it, if for nothing else. It was absolutely amazing. I was amazed at how far the circle stretched. I mean, it was ever increasing circles. It was absolutely amazing. I have never felt so loved in all my life. And that has been the greatest gift of all. My mother cared for others to the point that her entire life was spent caring for others. And I felt that I have lived my life a lot more selfishly, a lot more ambitiously. I've reached for so much more than she reached for. And I would have felt almost like not worthy of touching the hem of her frock, to use that term. And this made me feel that I was equal to her goodness. I felt I'd stepped up to that how she raised me, and the sample that she gave me, all the pilgrimages we made together in search of the divine, in search of miracles, in search of deep faith and understanding. I felt that this was my ultimate pilgrimage with her, and that's been a tremendous gift. And if I do feel that it was good, which sometimes I'm nervous to think that it was a very, very good thing to do, when I have those moments of pure joy and bliss and realization, this was such a good thing to do in life, and it's worked for both of us, I feel up to my mother. I'm my mother's daughter.